make it go wild. I'm original, and I told you so. I'm a kid in the candy store, put the leather on the denim. I ain't the cure, I'm the venom. If you wanna find me, find the taillights. Something's coming in, you're gonna wanna take a red eye. It's time to go. It's time to go. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready.
Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat mga kabansa. Saan man parte ng mundo kayo naroroon. Ito po ang Maestro sa Katipunan Channel. At nagpupugay po kami dahil sa mga kaguluhang nangyayari sa ating bansa, bungsod sa mga pangyayari nitong linggong ito. Kaya ang ating episode ay pinamagatan natin, no? Ang number po ay 303. We are on our third year at ito ang ating third episode. Duterte walks into Marcos trap. Kidnapping was premeditated and meticulously conspired. Yan po mga bansa, bilang paglatag, magpapakita tayo ng isang slide para magkaroon ng introductory note. At ito po ay psychology behind kidnappers. Kidnappers, like most others, seek to avoid internal conflict or dissonance by acting in ways that are consistent with their own beliefs and that allow them to see themselves as basically good. They most often seek to develop justifications for their actions. Ang patunay po nito at paglalahad natin ay makikita natin sa mga susunod na mga babanggitin natin bilang mga facts at mga opinion and observations. Sa ngayon po kay Dr. Froilan Calilong na nagtuturo ng political science sa University of Santo Tomas. Ang former President Duterte, like any Filipino citizen, was entitled to due process of law. Sa anya, Marcos has failed in his primary duty to protect citizens after he willfully submitted to the demands of the International Criminal Court to put former President Rodrigo Duterte on trial for the alleged extrajudicial killings in his war against illegal drugs. Ito pong tanong natin, where the rule of law and due process observed? During a late press conference in Malacanang at 12:07 in the morning of March 12, and that was already Wednesday, nilalagay po natin yung mga eksaktong oras dito dahil napaka-importante. This was 12:07 in the morning of March 12, the following day. Madaling araw po ito. In-announce na po dito ni Presidente Marcos that the plane carrying Rodrigo Duterte took off from NAIA on to The Hague, no? An hour after 11:30 in the evening of March 11. In other words, pagka-take off po ng 11:03, kasunod, tumawag sila ng press conference at 12:07. The President insisted that the law enforcement officials adhered to the due process in carrying out the operation to comply with the Philippines' commitments to the International Criminal Police Organization, Interpol, regarding the arrest of Duterte. Otherwise, he said that the government risks not getting any help in the future from the organization. Professor Calilong disagrees. Sabi niya, well, basically, I believe that the proper legal procedures were not followed. I think the statements made by the President run counter, ito ang kanyang opinion to our internal sovereignty because we were not able to protect a citizen of this country. Dagdag niya, Marcos just willfully submitted to the demands of an international body, so I believe that Marcos should have made a stand. Marcos could have done something, but Marcos chose not to do it. Para maintindihan natin ang mga intervening factors, gawa natin ng contextual analysis yung unfortunate press conference na tinawag nila 12:07 in the morning of the following day. Pagbasta natin mabuti ang body English ng ating Pangulo, no? At bantayan natin mabuti ang kanyang demeanor, bantayan natin mabuti ang kanyang pananalita. Was he sober? Was he coherent? Was he composed? Was he confident? Or the opposite? Para malaman natin at makapagbigay kayo ng opinion, pakinggan natin mismo ang video na ating pinatutugunan. Ito po ang unang video from 00 to 051.
From Hong Kong on Cathay Pacific flight number CX-907. Mr. Duterte was arrested in compliance with our commitments to Interpol. Hours before his arrival, Interpol Manila received an official copy of the ICC warrant. This prompted the Prosecutor General of the Department of Justice to serve the warrant. Interpol asked for help, and we obliged because we have commitments to the Interpol, which we have to fulfill. If we don't do that, they will no longer help us with other cases involving Filipino fugitives abroad.
Ito po mga kabansa, nakita nyo naman, no? Wala raw siyang choice. Wala raw siyang choice. At press officer nga niya sabi, mabuti pa, tinawag na lang natin a matter of presidential discretion. Pero sa katunayan, mga kabansa, sabi nga ni Professor Calinon, meron siyang choice. No? Meron siyang choice. At dito sa susunod na segment, makikita natin kung bakit tipong nagsisinungaling ang ating Pangulo. No? At karamihan kasi sa atin, hindi alam naman kung ano ang Interpol, pakinggan natin siya dito hanggang 105.
This is what the international community expects of us as the leader of a democratic country that is part of the community of nations.
Mga kabansa, nagbabasa na nga siya. Pero nakakabulol-bulol pa. Ano ba yung community of nations na sinasabi niya? Ang Interpol po ay platform for police to share information, coordinate investigations, and assist each other in locating fugitives and combating various types of crime. Mga kabansa. At sa pagkakaintindi ko, ang ICC, ang International Criminal Court, ang nag-issue ng warrant of arrest. Hindi ko po sigurado kung ang Interpol nag-i-issue ng warrant of arrest, no? They share this, they coordinate, no? But as to whether they issue a warrant of arrest, hindi ko po alam. Well, anyway, tuloy tayo dahil marami pa tayong madi-discover sa press conference na ito. Ito po hanggang 2:32.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Kanina po ay nagpaabot ng tanong ang mga miyembro ng Malacanang Press Corps at atin po itong sasagutin. Question number 1. Mr. President, meron po bang pisikal na kopya ng warrant of arrest laban kay dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte mula sa ICC?
Oh, meron. This came in. Actually, it came in. I received it from Secretary Remulla. I received it at 3 a.m. last night, and I looked at it, and we went back and forth. 6:30, he wrote me again, and he said, "We have it already. We have the warrant of arrest from Interpol." And I said, "Okay, we'll put all our plans into place, and sige, let's proceed as we had discussed."
Ayan mga kabansa, no? 18 oras na yan matapos nung matanggap ng secretary di umano ng local governments na si John Vic Remulla, yung warrant of arrest. Pero bakit hindi nila mapakita? Ang alam ko, nag-i-issue lamang ang Interpol ng red notice. Sabi ko nga kanina, hindi nila mapakita dahil klarong-klaro na ang warrant of arrest ay nanggaling sa International Criminal Court. No? Alas 3 daw siya na unang i-advise, and by 6:30 it was already in place. Eh bakit 18 hours hanggang dito sa press conference na ito, wala silang maibigay, mga kabansa, sa members of the press? No? Oh, eh bakit? So, humihingi ang press ng isang clear document. Oh, tingnan natin kung makapagbigay sila ng clear document. Oh. Tingnan natin kung paano mag-wobble sa sagot itong si Marcos at mag-dribble itong si Remulla. Pakinggan natin sa pagpapatuloy ng video hanggang 3:30.
So yes, there is a very clear document that will explain that will explain the basis on how we conducted this arrest of former President Duterte.
Sir, is it okay if we give them copies of the arrest warrant, photocopies of the arrest warrant? Would that be possible?
Do we have limitations on that?
We have the limitations, but we can.
We have here the SILG, who has been, of course, part and parcel of the entire operation.
We will provide the PCO with a digital copy. It has been attested by the Secretary of Justice and the Department of Justice as a lawful and legal warrant. We will publish it after this press conference, and you can use it as reference.
Bakit wala? 18 hours na. Anong certification pa? Ano ba na certification pa ng kapatid mo, John Vic, na si Boying, na Secretary of Justice? Aba, dalawa-dalawa na kayo dyan eh. Hindi pa tayo makapag-produce ng isang. Humihingi lang ng kopya ng Xerox. Bakit kayo walang bakit kayo walang ma-produce na Xerox 18 hours after sa isang press conference na nagpatawag kayo? Ay, nako. Anyway, nabubulol na ating Pangulo. Sige, tuloy natin ang video. Tingnan natin kung ano pa, kung meron pa tayong makukuha rito. Tuloy ang video hanggang 4 minutes 10 seconds.
It's very simple. It's a request to the Philippine government from Interpol to enforce the arrest warrant. And of course, we comply with our commitments to Interpol. We did not do this because it was derived from or it came from ICC. We did this because Interpol asked us to do it. And we have commitments to them, and we lived up to those commitments.
This is not very simple, Mr. President. twisted naman masyado. Ha? Oh, nag-comply tayo dahil sa Interpol. Ha? Pero warrant of arrest pala Interpol yan. Warrant of arrest ng ICC yan. Huwag naman tayo maging may duplicity rito sa semantics. Nililigaw-ligaw mo kami. Ha? Oh, request of the Interpol that endorse the warrant of arrest. The Interpol only endorsed in a red notice the warrant of arrest of the ICC. Bakit mo sinasabi na ang pinagbibigyan mo dyan ay Interpol at hindi ang ICC? What is the freaking difference? Pareho naman halos yan. Why are you making this? Huh? Why are you hair splitting here? Ano? Halatang may tinatago kayo eh. Ha? Alright, tuloy na natin kasi mabubuhol tayo dyan eh. Tinanong natin kanina, nagkaroon ba ng rule of law? Nagkaroon ba ng due process? Oh, eto, tuloy natin ang press con. Ha? From the 4th minute 10 seconds to the 4th minute 52 seconds. Pakinggan natin kung ano sinasabi ng ating Pangulo.
Sir, thank you, sir. Second question, sir. Mr. President, sinasabi ng kampo ni PRRD na unlawful arrest daw itong ginawang pag-aresto sa kanya.
Well, we followed every single necessary procedure. We had a very good basis on which to serve that warrant and to read him his rights. We followed all the legal procedures that are necessary. So I'm confident that if in further examination, you will find that it is proper and correct.
Ito na nga eh. Procedure na nga ito ginagawa natin eh, whether it's proper or correct. At dumagdag pa si General Romeo Pocis, no, dito sa mga obserbasyon ni Professor Calilong, at nagdi-disagree si General Pocis at sinasabi niya na ang arrest ni Duterte ay hindi legal because it did not conform to the rules of the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court mismo. Ano yung Rome Statute? Yung Rome Statute, ang treaty of which we were formerly a member. That was the treaty that created the International Criminal Court. And in that statute, alam niyo ba yung sabihin ng statute? Batas. Nandun yung Article 59. Now, this has been ventilated throughout media, no? But we have to continue para magkaroon ng clarity. Dahil maraming naghahanap ng clarification. Sa Article 59 ng statute na yan, arrest proceedings in a custodial state. Ano po ang custodial state dito? Ang custodial state dito po ay Pilipinas. Number 1, notification and process. After arrest, the state where the person was arrested must immediately notify the ICC. And I think they did that. But eto mga kabasa ang importante. The arrested person, in this case former President Rodrigo Duterte, mga kabansa, must be brought before a judicial authority of that state. Alright? Explain natin yan. Mamaya in detail. Number 2, review of the arrest. The local judicial authority must ensure that the person's rights have been respected during the arrest. Alright? Tandaan nyo mabuti magsasabi natin isa-isa ha. The judicial authority cannot question the validity of the ICC's arrest warrant, but can check if proper procedure was followed. Kasi meron tayong mga procedure, mga kabansa, tungkol sa pag-aresto ng mga tao dito. Hindi basta-basta dadamputin na lamang ng kapulisan ng mga tao. Ha? At isasakay sa ay nako. Anyway, pangatlo, interim release. The arrested person can request interim release or temporary freedom while awaiting surrender to the ICC. Yan pong tatlong procedures na yan ay hindi nasunod. In fact, they were violated. At pang-apat, mga kabansa, yun ang mismo, after all, 1, 2, 3 has been followed, yun ang actually, no? If the judicial authority confirms the validity of the arrest process, yun na, pwede na isakay sa eroplano at dalhin kung nasaan man ang ICC. Hindi lamang po Rome Statute ang na-violate dito, mga kabansa. Marcos also violated Republic Act 9851. Ano ang sinasabi ng Republic Act 9851? The authorities may surrender or extradite suspected or accused persons in the Philippines to the appropriate international court, if any, or to another state. Ito ang importante, mga kabansa, pursuant to the applicable extradition laws and treaties. Pursuant to the applicable extradition laws and treaties. Hindi basta-basta pwede na sakutehin at ipasa, mga kabansa. Meron tayong mga extradition laws. Bakit ko ito idinidiin? Dahil sabi ho nito si General Nicolas Torre, no? Na ang Secretary of Justice is the competent judicial authority that fulfilled the requirements of the ICC's Article 59. That's garbage. That's hogwash. Ito ho ang provision ng presidential decree, mga kabansa. Ha? Ang naglimbag ho nito ay tatay ni Marcos Jr., no? Presidential decree, no? Number 1069, which is the law on extradition. Ito ho mga binayolate na provisions. Section 4, number 2, inom lang po tayo sandali. Yung request ng ICC channeled through the Interpol or any request kung yan a different state of a foreign diplomat of the requesting state of government must be addressed to the Secretary of Foreign Affairs. Bakit hindi ba na-involve dito ang Department of Foreign Affairs? Bakit kailangan naka-address sa kanya? Dahil ito ay isang matter of foreign affairs. Kaibang bansa. Kaibang partido sa labas ng bansa. Hindi na involved dito si Enrique Balao or any of the undersecretaries or any of the officers of the Department of Foreign Affairs. Binayolate din ng Section 5, number 1. Unless the request fails to meet the requirements of this law and the relevant treaty or convention, the Secretary of Foreign Affairs shall forward the request together with the related documents to the Secretary of Justice, who shall immediately designate and authorize an attorney mga kabansa, in his office to take charge of the case. Section 5, number 2, the attorney so designated, mga kabansa, eto tayo, ha? Shall file a written petition with the proper court of first instance. Dahil noong panahon pa ni Marcos, hindi pa ho nare-reforma ang ating mga korte, yung court of first instance ang equivalent ng regional trial court ngayon. Kasi ho ngayon, mula sa municipal court, diretso na sa regional trial court. Eh noon, dumadaan pa sa court of first instance. No? Ngayon, para pabilisin yung proseso, mga kabansa, naging regional trial court na yan. Having jurisdiction of the place. All right. Section 5, number 3, the court of first instance shall have and continue to have the exclusive power to hear and decide the case. Ulitin ko, in our case now, the regional trial court shall have and continue to have the exclusive power to hear and decide the case. Alright, General Torre, paano nangyari? Sinortcut nyo! Pinutol nyo sa harap, pinutol nyo sa dulo. Sinortcut nyo. Mula sa airport, he was already given in the custody of the police upon he was already placed in the jurisdiction of the Secretary of Justice. Wala nang foreign affairs. Wala nang regional trial court. Oh, my God. So this sets a very, very bad precedent, mga kabansa, that surrendered, sinuko ang ating soberanya. At hindi sumunod sa mga procedures ng ICC, hindi rin sumunod sa batas ng Republika ng Pilipinas. This is an illegal arrest that has led to an illegal detention that has led to a kidnapping of a citizen of the Republic of the Philippines inside the Republic of the Philippines going to another country of destination. That's how ridiculous this whole thing is. Anyway, nadulas ang ating Pangulo. Tuloy natin sa 5:55 to 8:05, no? Ng press conference. Ipasok natin ang video.
Pang-apat po na tanong, Mr. President, sinasabi po nila na ito ay political persecution lamang at may kaugnayan din daw sa 2028 elections.
Okay, well, I'm sure sasabihin nila yan. But this case started in 2017 when we were still members of the ICC, and it was during the time of former President Duterte. So I don't see how that can be political persecution on my part, because it was initiated before I even came into the picture. So that would seem. But once again, we have to recognize that, you know, of course, it's natural for people to put lalagyan ng politika, kulay ng politika. Pero sinundan lang natin yung ICC, yung Interpol. Wala tayong, hindi natin kinakausap yung ICC. Marami silang hinihingi sa atin ng mga dokumento, wala kaming binigay. Yun lamang, hindi natin mahindian ang Interpol. Pag sinabi sa atin, tulungan nyo kami, kailangan namin kunin itong taong ito. Dahil, kung maalala ninyo, lahat ng mga tumakas dito sa Pilipinas, kagaya ni Alice Go, kagaya ni Arnie Tevez, kung sino-sino pa, pati naman yung mga human trafficking sa Myanmar, pati sa mga madadamay. Sinong tumulong sa atin para makita natin yung mga ating kababayan na inaapi at ginagamit sa masamang paraan? Ang Interpol. Kaya naman, dapat naman tayo, pagka sinabi sa atin, tulungan nyo kami sa ganito, tumulong kayo. Kaya naman, ganun ang ginawa natin.
Ayan mga kabansa. Kung saan ang dinadala usapan, hindi ho yun. Nadulas ka, Mr. President. Bakit? Sino ba ang tumulong sa iyo na manalo bilang Pangulo? Sino ba nagpalibing ng tatay mo? Kung ganyan ang line of reasoning mo, mas marami kang utang na loob kay Presidente Duterte at sa mga Duterte. Huwag mong ihambing yan kay Alice Go. Huwag mong ihambing yan kay Arnie Tevez because those are different cases. There is no third party involved there, which is the International Court of Justice. So non-sequitur ka, yung pinagsasabi mo ay kabalintunan. Balik tayo kay Kalino. Sabi niya, that's not the right answer. That's not what we're expecting from the President because we have what we call internal sovereignty. We are sovereign in our country. Each citizen is sovereign in each country. We have well-functioning institutions. No? We can, it's like sinabi ng Presidente na pwede tayong diktahan. Bakit? Sino ba nagdidikta sa'yo dito? Yan ang tanong. Sino ba humawak ng kamay mo? At parang persadong-persado ka rito. There in any country. Pagbibigyan mo Interpol na hindi naman Interpol nag-issue ng warrant. Saka I will show you later. Kaliling also discounted the possibility that Marcos could be Kalilong also did not discount the possibility that Marcos could be charged
All right, sure.
culpable violation of the Philippine Constitution. Article 3, Section 1 of the Constitution, which states that no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall any person be denied of equal protection under the laws. Anong version mo? Pakinggan natin ang video.
All right, sure.
Sir, there are calls for people power. There are, in fact, as we speak, protest actions ongoing. Would you like to address the supporters of the former president?
The supporters of the former president? Well, again, the government is just doing its job. Wala namang, it's not because it's one person or another that we do the things that we do. Maybe nung mga nakaraan na mga administrasyon, baka ganun ang ginagawa. Pero para sa akin, hindi naman ganun. Sumusunod tayo sa batas. We are a member of the community of nations. We must live up to our responsibilities, to the commitments that we have made to the community of nations.
Ayan. Kaya dugtong ni Kalilo, we're just doing our job. Mr. President naman, hindi naman mangmang. Sabi nga ng Iglesia ni Cristo, hindi naman mangmang ang taong bayan. Hindi bobo ang Pilipino. At the end of the day, the reason for this is politics. This is what our countrymen are seeing today, sabi ni Kalilo, as to why, it will explain as to why they're angry about what's happening. Pakinggan natin mismo si Professor Kalilong dito sa video nito.
So meaning Doc Froilan, is this the right time for President Marcos to come up with this reaction, no?
Yeah, definitely. I think they should have explained to this to the public a long time ago, no? And hindi yung parang biglaan, ano? Kasi
Sudden,
parang
oo.
we were caught unaware, no?
Oo.
I mean the poor old man Duterte was not even given enough time to prepare his things, 'di ba?
Yes. Oo,
Yung iba nga na kinukulong bago sila makulong, at least meron silang
May
kakayahan
sagutan
na
pa,
mag-prepare
oo.
man lamang. Sa kanya, walang pahinga, walang ano, dire-diretso, no? And syempre, medyo hindi to akma sa kultura natin, ano? Remember, the Filipinos are very fond about our elders, you know? And matanda na si Pangulong
Oo.
Duterte.
Mm-mm.
Para gawin natin yon, parang it runs counter to our culture as people
Mm-mm.
who takes care of our elderly. So I think there should have been enough courtesy that was extended at the very least to him, not as a former president, not
Yes.
as a former public official,
Oo.
but at least as a senior citizen
Senior,
and as an old man, dapat na-extend naman lang yun sa kanya. Kaso
Oo.
nga, mukhang ano, no, mukhang hindi man lang yun kayang ibigay ng ating
Oo.
pamahalaan.
Ayun.
So pumunta na tayo. Ito, dumiretso na ngayon tayo kung ano talaga ang mga nangyari. The whole thing was planned from the very beginning. It is evident that this entrapment was hatched even before Duterte left for Hong Kong. Unang-una, the president himself admitted the smoking gun. I-replay natin itong 143 to 232.
Question number one. Mr. President, meron po bang pisikal na kopya ng warrant of arrest laban kay dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte mula sa ICC?
Oh, meron. This came in. Actually, it came in. I received it from Secretary Remulla. I received it at 3 a.m. last night, and I looked at it, and we went back and forth. 6:30, he wrote me again, and he said, "We have it already. We have the warrant of arrest from Interpol." And I said, "Okay, we'll put all our plans into place, and sige, let's proceed as we had discussed."
Ayan, mga kabata. Let's put our plans into place. Binigyan pa from 3 o'clock to 3:30 si Remulla to fine-tune the conspiracy. Kasi pag may plano, mga kabasa, may mga variables, may mga intervening events na kailangan i-address. No? At ito, mga kabasa, inamin din ni John Vic Remulla sa kanyang interview sa Bilyonaryo. Pakinggan natin ang video, unang video.
But he's a professional. He is a soldier and he's a gentleman. So he served his role, and the information that he gathered and shared was very reliable. And
Such as? Or is there anything you can share?
the conversations on whether or not they would go home. I think the lawyers were prevailing for him to stay in Hong Kong or in China, and the children prevailed on him to go home.
Ibig sabihin, yung mga lawyers po sinasabi kay dating Pangulong Duterte
Parang
na
gano'n ang lumalabas sa mga sources.
sources from Secretary Anyo?
Sources ni Secretary Anyo.
Opo. And he relayed that to the core team. So the core
Yes.
team is the President, yourself, Secretary Anyo, Secretary Teodoro, and
The President.
kayo lang. So you kept it very small.
Very small.
And it
Yes.
was meant to be that way.
Yes, you cannot plan an operation like this and involve too many people.
Okay. Was it also, siguro, parte ho ba talaga ng plano na not to give the media any information? Because nobody really was talking to the media during that day.
Yes, that was deliberate on our part. When you plan something like this, you cannot have any loose ends. So we made sure that, number one, that all the officers that you saw were wearing body cameras. So may resibo lahat ng ginagawa. We made sure that CCTVs were on. We made sure that everything was recorded. We made sure that when he was being questioned or asked of anything, it was recorded. So if anything happened, may resibo lahat ng ginawa namin.
Kasi ang lumalabas po, Secretary, ang nakikita po naming video mostly during that time was coming from the camp of the former president,
Yes.
specifically his daughter, Kitty.
Yes.
We were getting a lot of, video from her. And nothing really from any one of you guys.
Yan, from the horse's mouth. Gibo Teodoro and Anyo, John Vic Remulla, and President Marcos. Hindi mo pa sinama dito si kanina sinama mo na eh. Ang kapatid mo si Boying Remulla. Ha? Nag-certify ka mo. O di kasali siya. Ha? At ginamit nyo ang Department of Justice dito. Bakit ikaw na rin ba, John Vic, ang Secretary of Justice ngayon? At ito mga kabansa, marami pa iba mga detalya, pero tingnan nyo na lang itong kaisa-isang detalya na ito. Why Villamor Air Base? Why? Bakit hindi sa isang hukom, sabi nga ni... Anyway, pakinggan natin ang video sa mismong labi ni John Vic Remulla, mga kabansa. Ito ang video.
And they said, why don't you use that? And then,
What does that mean, leased hours on a...
the president, the Philippines doesn't own a G550, so you buy ours on the plane. So when the president has short trips abroad, they use that plane.
Kumbaga nirerentahan.
Nirenta
And
lang.
this was rented?
Yes, rented.
To the tune, how much? How
I
much
don't
did government
know.
have to pay?
I'm not privy to the details of how much plane rentals are.
So, because there are reports that so-and-so actually owns this plane, sino hong may-ari ng
I
aeroplano?
didn't see. All I saw was it's a BVI company and it was there. So I've never ridden that plane before, so hindi ko talaga alam kung sino may-ari.
No politician, no businessman?
I don't think so.
Well, surely a businessman because if it's being rented out, right?
probably, yeah.
Pero hindi po may kinalaman sa politika. Sir, bakit po nagtagal ng ganon? When he was there at 11 a.m. and he left at 11 p.m.
I can give you the political answer. I'll give you the real answer.
Give me the real one, sir. Okay.
When you fly international, you have to get overland rights to fly over the countries. That means you have to get Vietnam, Thailand, Myanmar, India, Oman, UAE, Cairo, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and then European Union. So 9 permission, and it's a cascade. Vietnam has to say yes first, then Thailand.
Siyempre.
Because they won't give you if they don't have an overflight from the other countries.
Right.
So it usually takes you a week to do that. We had to do it in 7 hours.
And that's the reason why nagtagal
Yes,
po.
that's the reason. That's how unprepared we were.
That's why I was just about to say, because if that's what you're telling me, then it makes one assume that you weren't really prepared to fly him out that
No, we
day.
had plans with another plane.
Yun nga po, but it would have taken so many
But
hours
it
and
ended up
so many...
25 hours either way.
Okay. Let's talk about his arrest. It's unlawful, according to the supporters of the president, for a number of reasons, and let me identify them. No lawyer was even allowed to meet him and question the legality basis of that arrest. Please reply to that. Hindi niyo pinayagan siya na i-meet ng abogado para makita po itong arrest warrant to see its legality.
Secretary Medaldea was there. He's a lawyer. The other fellow there was a lawyer too. They examined it. The president read it.
Ayan mga kabansa, the plan was to ship out as soon as possible. But it took almost 18 hours to finalize the revised flight plan due to a change of aircraft. So talagang ang plano nila, pagka-aresto, i-ship out na agad. No? Wala talagang no quarters provided. No spaces, no excuses. offered, that can be offered. At pangatlo, mga kabansa, ito, the warrant was postdated to March 7. Nangangahulugan lamang na hindi totoo na ang gobyerno natin was not in close coordination with ICC. Kasi sabi ni Atty. Carranza, as early as February, nag-issue na raw ng warrant of arrest yan. Eh bakit itong final warrant of arrest, March 7 ang date? In other words, nung sigurado na sila na papunta because of the espionage operations of Ed Año, the National Security Advisor, and of NICA, nasigurado na sila na talagang pupunta si Duterte sa Hong Kong. So, yun, March 7, the last working day of last week, inihabol nila itong warrant, mga kabansa. The International Criminal Court Pre-Trial Chamber, pakita natin itong warrant, yung slide ng warrant. Dated March 7 at The Hague. Upon confirmation, mga kabansa, that former President Duterte had flown to Hong Kong on that day. Has flown to Hong Kong on that day. Alright? After coming from Davao the day before, staying overnight at Taguig City before heading to the airport for his 8:41 flight the next day. They had their tail on Duterte. They are spying on every activity of Duterte. Hindi ko sinasabi hindi nyo dapat gawin yan. Ang sinasabi ko, kasama yan dito sa formula. Dito sa mixture of all activities of conspiracy. Thereupon, the ICC secretly reached out to Interpol for the execution of the warrant. But the de jure existence of the warrant was kept secret from the wider public, mga kabansa. Doon sa bandang ilalim makikita nyo, secret. Ayan. As the warrant was impossible to have been served in Hong Kong, a Chinese territory, the document was reclassified from secret to public on March 11. Ito ho yung 6:30 confirmation ni John B. Cremullo sa presidente that ni-reclassify na nila into public document. They declassified it on March 11. Yung po yung nangyari noong 6:30 ng March 11. After Ed Año confirmed that Duterte was returning to the Philippines on that day. Kaya naglagay na sila ng 300 policemen ng PNP, CIDG, nilagay na nila itong si Nicolas Torre, nag-deploy na sila sa NAIA in anticipation of the arrival of Duterte at 9:02 a.m. 3 hours after nagawang public yung warrant of arrest ng ICC. At dito, nakakuha na ng red notice. Kuno sa Interpol. Ito mga kabansa, following his arrest, Duterte was taken by the authorities to Bindamore Air Base, where Torre read Duterte di umano ang kanyang Miranda rights and presented him an electronic copy of the arrest warrant. Mga kabansa, ewan ko kung pwede ito sa ating batas, electronic copy. This is the first digital arrest na nalaman ko. Anong pinakita nyo? Email? Anong pinakita nyo? Text? Viber? Messenger? Ginamit nyo? Wala kayong official document na hawak? Presenta nyo kay Duterte, electronic copy. I don't know, I'm not a lawyer. Pero Kung binigyan, inaresto lamang ako on the basis of an email, ay hindi kayo ubra sa abogado ko. So yan mga kabansa. The thing is we choose the path that coincides with our desire to satisfy the international community. Ginawa natin ang lahat para mapagbigyan ng ICC pero wala tayong ginawa para proteksyonan ang karapatan ng isang Pilipino senior citizen at that. Huwag na natin sabihin si Duterte yan. Especially in the purview of the advancement of the right of a citizen, not a former president, not a former public official, but of a citizen of the country, like the Philippines, that we were not able to uphold. Hindi natin naproteksyonan. Hindi ba ironic yan, sabi ni Calino, that the charges that were being filed against him redound to human rights violation, but we are also committing, or rather the government also committed the same level or the same offense against him because they were not able to advance or provide him to a protection of his human rights as well, especially during the hour of arrest. O may nakita na ba kayo? Ako, kahapon lang ako sa pagre-research ko. Kahapon ko lang nakita yung Kahapon lang nila nirelease sa internet. Mga kabansa, yung arrest warrant ni Duterte. Which I am assuming is the same thing that was being utilized here. Meron nga, ewan ko kung valid yan, kasi alam ko, kailangan certified true copy man lang yan Certified true copy ba yan? Electronically transmitted? Asan ang original? Pwede ba kayong wala sa, anong pangalan ito? Philippine Statistics Authority, pwede bang Xerox copy lang ang pagbigay ninyo? Sa gobyerno, in government, alam ko, pag walang papeles, toilet paper ang transaction. In government, hindi pwede. Yan. You can correct me if I'm wrong. At Interpol cannot compel the law enforcement authorities in our country to arrest someone who is the subject of a red notice. Wala silang jurisdiction dito sa loob. Each member country decides on its own what legal value it gives to a red notice and the authority of law enforcement agencies to make arrests. Kaya dito nagkabanggaan sino? Si Leila de Lima at saka si Alan Cayetano. Dahil nung magsalita si Alan Cayetano, inatake ni Leila de Lima si Cayetano at sinabi niya, dapat ikaw na-aresto din ng ICC. Pero ano ang justification ni Leila de Lima? Dinistort niya ang Republic Act 9851 na binasa natin kanina. She selectively quoted the law. Ito ang kanyang quotation ng batas. The Philippine government has the option to surrender Duterte to the ICC without any judicial approval. Naku, kinahihiya ka namin sa San Beda, Leila de Lima. Hindi ka lang garage queen. Anong klaseng batas ang natutunan mo sa eskwelahan natin? Has the option to surrender Duterte to the ICC without judicial approval? Bakit mo in-skip yung huling portion? Pursuant to the applicable extradition laws and treaties. Pwede bang mag-execute ng exemption ang Justice Department, ang si Remulla Boying, at ang Presidente ng Pilipinas, si Marcos Ferdinand Jr.? Sa batas? Sa extradition law? Kaya ito ang natanggap mo kay Alan Cayetano. Pakinggan po natin si Alan Cayetano.
Binasahan ng Miranda rights, may warrant of arrest. So okay yon. Pero yung isasakay mo sa aeroplano, anong korte sa Pilipinas ang nag-order nun? 'Di ba?
Grabe,
So,
no?
fellow lawyers, it doesn't matter if we're pro-admin, pro-Duterte, neutral, etc. Ang pinag-uusapan na dito, ano yung batas ng Pilipinas. And ako personally, I'm so uncomfortable. I'm much more than that, but I'm just trying to maintain my cool na pwede talagang a foreign court will order tapos arestuhin mo dito. Sige, sabihin mo pwede yon, but hindi ka pwedeng pumunta ng korte at hindi pwedeng i-sort out muna ng korte yon. Bigla mo na lang isasakay sa airplano. No wonder si Kitty sabi niya, this is the plane na kinidnap yung yung tatay ko, di ba? Pag sinabi mong kidnap, I'm not talking about the legal term, yung colloquial term, no? Yung ordinary meaning ng Pilipino. Kapag ka may legal authority ka na kunin yung isang tao, hindi kidnapping yon, di ba? So, maa-argue na kailangan arestuhin kasi nga yun ang interpretasyon ng gobyerno natin ngayon, tapos whether sa krame or kung saan man siya i-detain, di ba? Pero yung hindi mo binigyan ng 24 hours yung kanyang mga legal counsel na questionin to sa korte. So no wonder yung bata kidnapping ang tawag, and I think many Filipinos will interpret it that way, no? So hindi ako pwedeng hindi magsalita kasi parati namin sinasabi sa aming show Cayetano in Action with Boy Abunda na yung tama, tama. Yun din ang turo ng tatay ko, yung tama, tama. Yun din ang nasa Biblia, kung anong tama ay tama.
Yan mga kabansa, no? Hindi ako umiiyak. Pinapahiran ko lang yung aking mata dahil I've been through an eye surgery. No? Pero dito sa susunod na papakita natin, dito nag-exhibit yung sinimulan natin ang programang to kanina, yung psychology behind kidnappers. Kidnappers most often seek to develop justification for their actions. So let's listen to classic scapegoatism nitong si Secretary John Vic Remulla sa interview ni Karen Davila sa kanya. Pakinggan natin ang video.
We have with us Interior Secretary John Vic Remulla. Secretary Remulla, I wanted to ask you, this is quite interesting. Did the government, lumabag ba ang gobyerno sa proseso, sa arrest proceedings of the custodial state? I'll read it again. Article 59 of the ICC, the arrest proceedings in the custodial state, Paragraph 2, a person arrested shall be brought promptly before the competent judicial authority in the custodial state. Dapat po ata dinala muna si Duterte sa isang judge or hukom sa Pilipinas, Secretary.
Good morning, Karen. Good morning, attorney. I am not a lawyer. I cannot interpret the law, nor am I a competent authority. But I find it amusing that Attorney Lambino keeps on insisting on the rights of the former president. What about the rights of the 30,000 who he summarily had killed without any judicial action, without any charges? 30,000 victims were killed without any due process. Now, if we argue technicalities, I welcome them. Bring him to the court. But were the 30,000 allowed to go to court? Were the 30,000 read their rights when they were executed? Were they allowed to plead their case? I don't think this is the proper forum. I think it's not an academic. I think they should go to the competent authorities.
Masyado ka namang appeal to emotions. Ang tawag dyan argumentum at buculum. At argumentum ad hominem. You're going to personalities, eh. You're not answering the question, sir. And you're resulting to emotional manipulation. Pwede ba, Secretary Remulla, i-produce mo yung 30,000 victims mo? Napaka-fake news mo naman. Kinopya mo lang yung 27,000 ng Rappler, dinagdagan mo pa ng 3,000. The verified tally ng corpus delicti, ibig sabihin, bangkay, corpse, dead bodies, ay from 6,000 to 7,000 lamang. At hindi lahat yan naging biktima ng police action. Marami dyan tinumba mismo ng kanilang mga drug pushers and drug lords. So saan mo tinago yung 23,000 mo, Mr. Remulla? Aba, yung Yolanda, less than 10,000 lang ang namatay doon. Natitisod lahat ng tao sa kalye, sa mga dead bodies in the streets. Baka hindi mo alam kung ilan niya, baka hindi ka marunong magbilang. Hindi mo ma-quantify ang additional 23,000 bodies? With all due respect for your position, sir, mag-resign ka na while you're still ahead. When Marcos leaves power, huli na yan. Baka kung ano pa ang mangyari sa'yo. Hindi ho yan. That is a friendly suggestion from an observer. So anyway, sumahin na natin. Sumahin na natin lahat ito. Dahil walang katapusan ito. Ang dami kasi kapalpakan na nangyari. Let us hear, ito, babasahin ko, statement ni Sara Duterte for the people of the Philippines. The Vice President condemns the illegal arrest of his father, the former President Duterte. Our own government has surrendered a Filipino citizen, even a former president at that, to foreign powers. This is a blatant affront to our sovereignty and an insult to every Filipino who believes in our nation's independence. Worse, former Roman Duterte is being denied his fundamental rights. Since he was taken this morning, he has not been brought before any competent judicial authority to assert his rights and to allow him to avail of reliefs provided by law. This act shows the world that this government is willing to abandon its own citizens and betray the very essence of our sovereignty and national dignity. And I would like to address this to our President. Mr. President, ang allegations mo throughout the almost 3 years that you've been in Malacanang is that you will protect our sovereignty to the point of ridicule na nga and to the point of stupidity na nga dyan sa tinatawag mong West Philippine Sea. Alright? Sunod ka lang sunod sa mga banyaga. Sunod ka lang sunod sa mga Amerikano. Sunod ka lang sunod sa mga proponents of war, forever war. Mga digmaan. Pero ang kapakanan ng sambayanang Pilipino, hindi mo pinapansin na naging biktima sa inflation. Mr. President, anong soberanya anong consistency ng soberanya Pilipino? You have repudiated yourself. Yung favorite line mo, protection of sovereignty, wala na. So yan ang una. At ito pa, ibang sinabi ni General Romeo Pocis. No? You undermine, number 2, you undermine local justice. Kung ating judiciary ay functioning, you're sending to the ICC a message, no? Na ang ating hustisya rito sa bansa ay inadequate or untrustworthy and hurting its credibility. Pangatlo, political instability. Sabi nga ni Professor Calilo, at the end of the day, this is political. Dahil sa large following ng mga Duterte, ginugulo mo, you're steering them up to an already agitated citizenry to trigger massive protests, even violence leading to national chaos and instability. Number 4, yung mga galit sa ICC ng mga countries like China, like the United States of America, like Russia, so Xi Jinping, Donald Trump, and Putin, Vladimir Putin. Yan na lang tatlo na yan because they are the superpowers. It could harm our relations with the non-ICC member countries. Like these, who oppose the court's authority. Pina-score mo ang ICC eh. They view the ICC as a threat to the sovereignty and reject its authority over their domestic affairs. So, yung arrest ni Duterte sets a dangerous precedent. The powerful countries that this could also be used for their own leaders or officials in the future. Number 5, binayolate mo ang konstitusyon, binayolate mo maraming batas. Nag-withdraw na nga tayo sa ICC in 2019. And this could spark a legal battle over jurisdiction, weakening our own legal system. And what about your violation of the law? One is even by your own father, presidential decree on extradition. Pang-anim, hindi ito nakakatulong sa ekonomiya, sabi ni Rubio Pocos. Political unrest could drive away the investors. In fact, bumagsak ang stock market at ang foreign investment confidence because of the Duterte arrest. And that could harm our economy. And later on, baka ma-sanction pa tayo at magkaroon ng international backlash. Bakit? Number 7, because you have found a rising distrust and waning yung bumababa nating credibility ng Pilipinas sa international bodies. Many Filipinos see the ICC as a biased foreign tool. Duterte's arrest could fuel anti-Western and nationalist concern. Para sa atin, dapat binabalanse natin lahat yan. So, hindi ko ano na rito because parang everything has gone wayward and para bang ano na eh. It's one to his own survival na tayo dito sa Pilipinas eh. Kanya-kanyang biyahe na lang tayo. And it all goes to one conclusion. Mga kabansa, mga kabayan, mga kapwa kong Pilipino, ito nagpapatunay lamang na ang nanunungkulang Pangulo ay walang silbi sa ating lahat. Hindi na niya tayo mabigyan ng komportableng buhay. Ang ating kinikita ay lumiliit na dahil sa inflation. Nagkakagutuman na marami sa ating mga kababayan. Ang presyo ng bilihin ay hindi bumababa. At wala naman sinasabi, itong buwaka lang yun ang administrasyon nito. Kung hindi, kasalanan ng dating administrasyon nito. Hindi. Wala, we're not looking for who is at fault. We're looking for solutions. We're looking for solutions. Kasi ho talaga kung sino may ano dyan. Ang gumawa ng problema. Kayo nakaupo. Kayo gumawa ng solusyon. Kung hindi nyo kaya, ito ho ang gusto ng maraming Pilipino. Pakita natin itong slide na ito. Pakita natin. Run, Sara, run. Kailangan na ho natin ng bagong liderato. Aba, ewan ko sa inyong ayaw pa pumayag. Saan ba pa kayo pupunta? Kung wala masusunod, hindi na kailangan matuloy ang 2025 elections. It will just be more of the same. We already won. Matagal na kami sa Marcos alis dyan. Asking for the resignation of Marcos. The removal of Marcos by whatever legal way possible. Preferably by resignation para wala ng bloodshed, wala ng violence, wala ng gulo. And we are asking Sara Duterte to lead. Sara, lead. Nakita namin kung anong klaseng leader ka sa 2 taon mong na panunungkulan sa Secretary of Education. Ang dami mo nagawa sa loob ng kakapiranggot na panahon. And we know that you can lead this nation because you have at least tuwid ka mag-isip. Hindi katulad ng kasalukuyan nanunungkulan na press conference lamang ay nervyos na nervyos at hindi makasagot ng tama kundi bibasahin yung nasa harap niya. At pag binabasa na nga yung nasa harap niya, kakandabulul pa. Wow! Kaya tayo lahat, salamat ang solusyon. Let us carry the sulo of the Filipino. Bitbitin natin ang sulo ng Pilipino. At dito yung magpapaalam na ako. Maraming salamat po. Magkita-kita tayo muli sa susunod na Sabado. At itaguin natin, itaas natin ang sulo ng Pilipino. Ang inyong lingkod, Ado Paglinawan, dito sa Ang Maestro, sa Katipunan Channel, nagpapaalam na. Maraming
kasaysayan, lahing pinagpala ng may kapal.